I want a nicer, newer home that's kind of like a mainland home. A bigger home for my money.
It's Ho'opili.
A good thing about being here, well, twofold for the traffic. One, we're right by the rail. That may not help many people a ton right now. In the future, hopefully it helps people more.
Huge game changer because a lot of people, my parents included, stay away from Eva because of the Fort Weaver Road traffic.
When I was in high schoolish or right after high school or something, Fort Weaver Road was deemed like the worst stretch of traffic in the country. I saw it on the news or something. So if you had to deal with Fort Weaver and go to town, it was really bad. It's not so bad after COVID now.
There's stuff to do in Eva now.
You can go to a wave pool, you go to a water park, you can go to resorts, you can go to all of the shopping. There's no place in the Pacific Ocean like Ho'opili and all of the things around here. Elementary school is not quite open, but you will have schools. You'll have Honouli'uli Middle School.
Middle school, another high school coming up too.
When is that supposed to be done?
Long time.
Years.
Long time from now. So if you're looking in the near future, I believe right now Ho'opili kids go to Kapolei, which is, people are surprised because it is Eva Beach.
For high school.
Yeah, for high school.
School districts change, they rezone, we could be wrong.
When you go in to talk to anybody at the sales office, they'll say right now this, but always check with the DOE.
See the airplane.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an air traffic controller, our friend Jacob is, we could ask him. What I'm seeing is maybe not as bad of airplane noises.
Because it's not directly over.
It's not directly over. We're like Mauka Eva.
Oh, that's like a new thing.
Yeah.
I think we just made that up.
We're like towards the mountains. The flight path typically goes over Old Eva Beach, Eva Gentry even. Not too bad here. At least today. We've had clients who are like, cannot deal with the airplane noise. I think you're okay here in Ho'opili. So we're standing at the bluffs at Nanaina. Nanaina?
I don't know.
Everyone says Nanaina.
I've been trying to get somebody to tell me for sure what it is. I don't think anybody really knows.
I think we're in Nanaina. That's what everyone's saying. We chose this location because you can look over here and see these finished homes. You also see the new construction. You see everyone over here working, the porta potties. They're still working on these homes.
Yep.
And then if you pan over here, you can see how these guys have views. Almost like 180 panoramic views all the way from like Mililani to Diamond Head to the ocean.
Yeah.
Now we're not super elevated, it's not like Makakilo, but good view, probably the best views in Eva other than right on the ocean.
Yeah. And if you look this way, Ikenas. Still some that are already built, some that are still under construction. This is where a bunch of the single family homes converge. Mamaka, Bluffs at Nanaina, and then Ikena. All three, you can drive on the same road, Honouli'uli, and be in 3 different single family home complexes.
Hawaiian word of the day. Right here.
Ala apapa.
Ala apapa.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means. Let's talk about the different levels of single family homes in Ho'opili, how they're being released. Ho'oulu are Ho'opili's like Hawaii style plantation homes or a post and pier.
Intentionally built to feel more old style. They have open carports, no garages.
There's no more already, right?
Nope, those are done unless they come to resale.
Right. And then
The next
Mamaka, a step up from a townhome because your living room's smaller, it's all down, and you go upstairs, the bedrooms are right there. These tall, consistently almost the exact same single family homes, those are also gone.
Yes.
And then you moved into Ikena.
Yes.
So anytime you see like a roof like this and a roof like this, that's an Ikena home.
Yeah.
Those were 900s to $1 million.
$1 million plus. There's Kanalani too, which is very similar to Ikena homes. The main difference is how the outside looks. So the design's a little bit different on the outside.
Like
more traditional
a regular looking home.
Yeah. The other main difference for people interior wise is in the Ikena homes that have that pitch on their roof, the ceiling is vaulted. In the Kanalanis, the ceiling's high, but it's not vaulted.
Oh,
yeah.
Good point. Quick story. The story has made its rounds. It's still making its rounds around Ho'opili, actually. Everyone wanted these homes here. Everyone
I mean, if you just look over here, you can see why.
These are arguably the best lots in Eva, other than oceanfront lots. And some would even argue better than oceanfront lots because you have to deal with all the salt and corrosion, all that comes with living there. So some of the best lots in all of Eva, best views in all of Eva.
And the perimeter lots here in Ho'opili.
And there's, no one behind you.
Yeah.
It's a perimeter. At the end of the road, you have a even more sought after, a specifically sought after lot with a great view. These were being released on a first come, first serve. So whoever was there waiting in line would get the home. We've had people sleep over. We have 4 people sleeping on the sidewalk like this overnight to secure 2 homes in Nahere, which we'll talk about in our next segment. In this situation, we didn't know when the next release was. The client said, you know what? I've just, like yesterday, become fixated. Just in case they release tomorrow, I'm gonna go there early in the morning. So he got there at like 5 in the morning. No one was there, but there was a chair. I want your opinion in the comments below. Tell me what you would have done, what you would have thought, who you think was in the right, who was in the wrong, or maybe not right and wrong, but just how you would have judged it. So he got there, there was a chair sitting there, and then he took a video and said, look, I'm the only one here. Time went by, and eventually someone came and was like, oh, that's my chair. He was like, well, I disagree because I was here and I don't think a chair holds the spot. The person said, no, I've been coming here multiple days. The chair does hold the spot. I was here first.
I also have sat in those lines for hours and had to pee real bad and couldn't leave. Move your feet, lose your seat. I've had Aiden come in like the fastest he's ever made it over here because I had to use the bathroom so bad.
So long story short, they open the doors. Who was here first? Oh, we have a disagreement. Both parties come in. Call D.R. Horton's legal team. That person said, well, let me elevate this higher in the legal team.
Yeah.
And then someone in the higher ups on the legal team at D.R. Horton said, move your feet, lose your seat. The person who is physically holding the spot gets first pick. And they picked, in my opinion, arguably the best lot in all of Ho'opili.
Yeah.
Because of its location, its view, its size.
Yeah.
And let's talk about these homes. When we went in to do the key exchange, you walked into that home and it was like walking into like a Portlock Kahala home, right?
Like immediately we looked at each other like,
It just felt the big tiles, the thoughtful placement, the cabinets all the way up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
A lot of glass to show off the view. It just felt elevated.
It just felt
Which
very
it should.
elevated.
That's what these have been promoted as and marketed as.
Yeah.
And it did. Like it felt really nice.
These are like in the 1.3, 1.4, and who knows what the next ones will be, but that's kind of like the price range that they've been in. So this is like the elite, luxury line here in Ho'opili, and it really did feel that way.
In the past, these have been released via lottery. 15 people out of 200 people get a home or whatever. Since the interest rates have gone up, housing market slowed a bit, that hasn't been the current circumstance and situation.
Yeah.
Moving forward, what will it be? Who knows? Feels competitive because they want these perimeter homes. On the other hand, some of these homes were still sitting.
Yeah.
And did they red tag and discount these? Or
No, not in here.
This is the Bluffs. They're trying to maintain the prestige. They haven't red tagged it. However, for multiple days after the last release, these were sitting, whereas specific homes on that side with the view, people were fighting over.
If you're getting value from these videos, if you're interested in Ho'opili, we've got a couple of clients who are next door neighbors to each other, closing very shortly in a couple of weeks in Ikena. So I know there haven't really been any videos of the inside of an Ikena home, but they've given us permission ahead of time and we're looking forward to going and checking it out. Now we're in front of the Nahele building, which is the current condo in Ho'opili. Make sure you keep in touch with us because my guess is that when they finally do have another release, this is the most competitive in all of the first come first serve releases here.
Yeah,
so there will be a lot of people waiting for that next release. The one bedrooms were low 500s. I think they were in the high 4s at one point, but the last release
I was gonna say, I thought they were low.
The last one, it had
4s.
gone up a tick into the 500s and then progressively up into like the high 600s for a 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
So who knows what the next release is going to look like when that comes out. A couple months ago when we put our last clients in who now have just moved in. Shout out to Christina.
We just saw
Christina. We just saw Christina
on the
out here.
sidewalk. Shout out to Christina.
Yeah, and shout out to the Martins who are in their place too. But yeah, who knows what that's going to look like next. 5 stories. It's the tallest condo building in all of Ho'opili. It's a perimeter lot, so if you're on this side of that development, you have pretty cool Mauka views. Nahele, not all of Ho'opili, just specifically Nahele, temporarily lost VA approval for financing. And so as a result of that, people actually fell out. There were some people who decided to just cancel their Nahele. And that could be because, you're already using your TLA and that's running out. And you can't wait to figure out when that's gonna get resolved. We had a VA buyer who we were very lucky enough to find a workaround and they were able to get into their home, so thankfully for them, but also I knew a lot of people who fell out and who canceled. That being said, Nahele hasn't released in a while. Likely, I don't know for sure, but my guess is while they're figuring out how to get that situation resolved.
It seems to coincide.
Yeah.
And they want to release these as fast as possible, but they haven't had a release in a while.
Yeah.
And they knew that interest rates were trending in a bad direction, etc. I wonder if it has something to do with this losing VA approval and the reason why they lost VA approval. Yeah. There's another thing about how these are being released and how we tend to kind of be early that I don't want to say here. Find out.
No, we don't need to put that.
You have to hit us up for that, actually. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, yeah.
There's no point in putting that out to everyone. So you're like, oh, wow, Derek, you don't help the people? No, like we have a fiduciary duty to our people. So if we have someone looking for Nahele, I can't go helping the entire island with the inside scoops. I have to serve that person. So there is a way in which you can kind of try to be amongst the first people here when they do have the releases. Last release, we had 4 people sleep outside,
Yeah.
either in a chair or on the concrete.
Literally on the concrete.
It's not that we can have people sleep here for 2 weeks at a time to wait for a release, but when we know there is one, and typically we know the day before we get here, but so far, no fights, no drama with
No.
that, although there were some people competing for Nahere who were in front of our client who were not going to move into their unit. It's a situation where you have to sign an owner-occupant affidavit. Maybe even someone's using a primary home residence loan, but with no intention to move into it. If that were to happen again, and our clients weren't gonna get a unit as a result of it, I'm gonna have to be the squeaky wheel. Reach out to us, go to coreteamhawaii.com, top right corner, book a call. If you have questions about Ho'opili, we keep our finger on the pulse, you know. We sometimes get calls from the sales office directly, like, hey, quick tip, because we know you guys do a lot of Ho'opili. If
Yeah.
you're looking to buy in Ho'opili, reach out to us.
Yeah.
We're experts at it, and we'll keep you up to date on the style of release, like the
Yeah.
methods of the releases.
Yeah.
When these guys are going to be released again. How many? The
Yeah.
local uncle, did you see him?
Uh-uh.
He was like, hey, like you could tell he was one of the people like, oh yeah, I watched the channel, and he was like,
Yeah.
smiling. Local people, if you see us in the street, say hi.
Yes,
In
please
fact,
do.
you know what? Please say hi, because one of our clients saw me in Down to Earth, and she kind of looked at me, smiled, and then I proceeded to I was kind of yelling at my kids. I was like, just order. Like, then afterwards, she said hi to me, and she's like, hi, Derek, YouTube, right? And I was like, oh yeah. I
Yes.
told her, I was like, I was yelling at my kids. Tell me hi early so I don't do that.
Before we embarrass ourselves. Yeah.